Hi, everybody. So, welcome to my new Facebook channel. I wanted to talk today about a stage that happens when people get when they get through the baby stage and the toddler stage. You get to the preschooler stage, and then you can't talk in front of your kids anymore. And for many couples that were used to really having time to chat about adult things like work or friends or whatever, this can really be jarring. And of course, it's only going to be with the first kid that it's going to come as a surprise. After that, with subsequent kids, you know what's going to happen, and you already have an older kid, so you can really never talk in front of the kids. So, what do I mean by talk in front of the kids? Of course, you could talk about work and things like that if you want, but it's really hard to talk about any adult matters. So, things having to do with your relationship, things that are upsetting, things that are not child appropriate to talk about. And you should, of course, continue to try to have conversation, but also a toddler, preschooler, they're going to interrupt you a lot. Again, you could train them not to, but there's only so much you can do. You have to kind of understand that there is a stage at which you're not going to be able to have communication, particularly about the relationship in front of the children. I mean, I have a podcast coming out on like how many people talk about their relationship way too much, which may sound like strange advice coming from a marital counselor, but I see it happen all the time, where people just talk and talk and talk about the relationship, and it really does no good for anybody. So it is important if you have a baby to talk to your partner about what are we going to do when the baby starts to understand. We still do want to have time for us, and how are we going to make that time? After bedtime is a good time, nap time is a good time to connect. A lot of people now text all day pretty much, so that is something good, although of course you don't want to be on your phone the whole day. But you can even talk one-sidedly, often a lot easier in front of the kids if you're talking on the phone, and you have like an AirPod in or something, and the kid can't hear the other side. Then maybe you could talk about other things that are a little bit more adult, as long as you watch what you say, because the other person can say whatever they want on their end. And so I've seen a lot of clients who get to this stage and they feel very lonely, particularly if women are stay-at-home moms with the kids, and the guy comes home and they want to talk to him, but they can't talk to him because the kids are there. The kids are listening now. Whereas when they had a baby and the husband came home, they could still talk to him. They could talk to him about whatever they wanted, and they didn't feel as lonely. So that's why it's important. A lot of the things that I talk about, it's just really important to know that they're coming. And then as a couple, to kind of brace yourself and understand that it may be a little bump in the road, as with any other change into a different developmental change for a child or for a family, and to hopefully discuss ways that you can still remain connected and bonded, particularly for people with a verbal, not words of affirmation, love language, yes, but maybe just people who bond through being verbal. This can come as a really big shock to the system, that there's like one day where they kind of feel like they can say things like, we aren't hanging out as much as we used to, and like I felt lonely today and I felt so overwhelmed, and the baby was doing this and the baby was doing that. And then, like, at some point, the baby's listening. And so you don't want to say that stuff anymore. Like, I'm so overwhelmed. Oh my God, I was so annoyed at the play date. Like, you don't really want to, like, complain so much, like in front of your kid. But a lot of people, that is kind of a way that they bond, is by venting. When you can no longer do it as much, then it can be a little bit of a shock. And if the couple knows that it's coming, then they could say, we're going to have these other times that we set out, hopefully, and these other modalities of communication, so that we don't feel just completely thwarted by having a kid around, such that we only now talk about kid stuff, which is not how any relationship should be. So if this is a situation that you're in, it's a good video to send to your partner and to say, how are we going to deal with this? Or if you're already in the stage, to say, how could we deal with this differently? Because this is how I feel. I feel lonely because we used to be able to talk about stuff all the time, and now we cannot. All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.